What's up, chat? Happy Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. There's nobody here. Oh my god, this is bad. Dr. Disrespect taking them all. No. Oh my goodness. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Nonetheless, we gotta do what we gotta do. There's basketball tonight. We'll try and chop it up and relive a little bit of the chaos that was last night. And last night, man, we are just getting numb to this. It is happening daily, man. I'm getting bad beated, ejected, injury, late scratched every single night. And I know if I'm getting frustrated by it, it's definitely going to be bleeding over into the casual user base. So with alternative options available, baseball, golf, what have you, it certainly feels like it could be a rough and tumble time for the allure of NBA DFS. However, tonight's an opportunity for NBA DFS to be normal as baseball started at 1, and we can focus on basketball. We don't have dueling locks here, and hopefully come up with a little bit of that money. Last night, highest scorer on the slate, Nikola Vucevic, and his Nikola brother Jokic was number 2. Kawhi Leonard 3. Bam Adebayo in the 4 spot. Steph Curry 55. Paul George 52. So I had plenty of Curry and Paul George and guys like this. But I did get hit with one. Andre Drummond was rolled out, so I ended up putting Montrezl Harrell in the player pool. He gets ejected. I also had Miles Turner in the absence of Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon. He got hurt and didn't come back. And then late in the night, with my Curry exposure, with my value, I had a nice chunk of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was probable national television game, and he's not gonna play. So unfortunate. What are you gonna do? I guess you just move onward and upward. And tonight, we have many games of NBA to dissect, break down, and hopefully go out there and turn our poor fortunes around. I had a nice chunk of Zion. I did have Lonzo. I thought people would be a little skittish to pay that price point on Lonzo. But outside of that, like the other guys were okay. But it's just like these big unfortunate mishaps, these scratches, these injuries, they just seem to be finding me every single night. And then, of course, according to Twitter, it's getting you guys too, man. Shout out to you guys hanging out in the live chat. I don't see Raj yet. Raj had tagged me earlier, and he had... he tagged me earlier, so I figured he was going to be ready. What up, Quan? What up, Danny? What up, Dez? How we doing, boys? It is a lazy hump day, baseball on in the background, and we'll be trying to navigate this slate. Of course, a lot of people have their eyes and ears and hearts set on the Masters. I wish I knew more about golf. I don't know anything about golf. Maybe I should be watching the Dr. Disrespect stream. But what I do know is that 3 p.m. Daily Tweet Fantasy Labs key news to watch: Bradley Beal questionable, Brandon Ingram questionable, Kristaps Porzingis questionable, Malcolm Brogdon, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner all questionable. Jamal Murray questionable, Dejounte Murray questionable, John Wall expects to play, and D'Angelo Russell probable. He played last game, so should be on track to play, man. What are we doing, boys? You guys doing all right? This might end up being like the lowest rated stream ever. But what can you do? You guys played some baseball last night? Baseball okie doked me, man. I wasn't paying attention yesterday. I know I advertised the baseball stream yesterday. But I didn't realize the main slate was at noon. Like I knew there was going to be early games, but I didn't really pay attention to it being the main slate. So my bad on no baseball content, but it was really not going to fit in the schedule anyway. Tonight there's only 2 night games with another early baseball slate tomorrow. So maybe we'll put something up prepackaged tonight or even go live tonight for tomorrow's slate. We'll see about that. And then we go right back into some basketball tomorrow. I am stalling. I don't know. Where's Rod? Where are you at, Raj? Where are you at? Let me get Raj in here. Make sure we don't have any difficulties, man. What's up, Josh? Congrats on your awesome game. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's another one. I was scheduled for Thursday for them, and that baseball wonky slate too, all day stuff. So you may not only see me but once over there this week, but once everything starts regulating a little bit more, hopefully a little bit more collabs. What up, Tutu? Ready for a bounce back? Is her man? Last night's rough. It was rough. I added Raj. I was like, hey. You streaming? He's like, yeah. Oh, yeah? Where you at? The way this works. Oh, man. And you guys playing baseball right now? I had a lot of great pitching options on the early slate. Oh, okay, buddy. Had it, Shane Bieber was on there. Kenta Maeda. Pablo Lopez at home's interesting. Lots of aces. Last night too. Last night was fun. Also, freaking Freddie Peralta. I didn't realize he was gonna have that long of a pitch count. I was contemplating picking him up in season long because I knew he had some dirty stuff. I should have. He went from like 50 pitches to 90, right? Where are I'm gonna tag Raj again. I'll show you guys what I'm dealing with. Dealing with effing Raj. Hey, you streaming? Yeah. Where are you at? 205. Oh my gosh. By the way, guys, we are doing a promotion with PrizePicks this week. If you sign up for PrizePicks using code GUNDACKER, they of course are going to do the usual deposit bonus, double your initial deposit up to $100 if you use code GUNDACKER when you sign up. But if you do that, we're also going to throw in a week pass of RunDFS.com VIP. I think it's a pretty solid deal. You guys can access the baseball and basketball spreadsheets, including that basketball player prop tab, which includes tabs really designed to kind of help you navigate PrizePicks, but also to help you navigate your local sports books to bet individual PRA points, rebounds, assists, all that good stuff. And then I'm gonna try and come up with some more baseball tabs that might be a little bit more appropriate for PrizePicks as well. Maybe a strikeout prediction model, stuff like that. Really, I just look at good matchups and I play good matchups, but maybe something a little bit more finite for PrizePicks as well. So I'm excited about that. I did look on FanGraphs and they added a couple new stats into what we can source information from, including like barrel rates and StatCast information. So I really think that might help me tweak my bomb detector and make it even stronger than it already is, man. Check out PrizePicks, use code GUNDACKER, get that bonus and get that week pass. If you do sign up with the code, hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/GUNDACKER. Be like, yo, Gun, I signed up. And then the next morning, they'll send me a list of names to confirm everyone who signed up each day. And once I verify it, boom, give me your RunDFS.com username, and you are in and good to go. All right, let's get back to the main slate here. TJ got me too. TJ, Miles Turner. I almost triple stack. I did basically triple stack the Pacers, Karis LeVert, and Miles Turner. And then when Miles Turner got hurt, it was a yikes. And then Montrezl Harrell getting ejected, it was a yikes. And then once I saw the Giannis information, I was almost so deflated already because a lot of my center spot was already like demolished because of those two moves. I was like, man, I don't even care at this point. Like, it was so rough. And I had tweeted out like MLB DFS is better than NBA DFS, and it was a direct reflection of that, but also a culmination of a lot of stuff like that happening lately. So what's crazy is it literally feels like the final week of NBA DFS, and we've got like a month and a half left. Like there's plenty of meaningful basketball down the stretch, and we're out here playing garbage time. Like it feels like the last week where it's just the most random stuff is happening every night. So hopefully that starts to backtrack a little bit, and this is just like dog days of summer type stuff. But it is what it is. I've stalled enough for Raj. I don't know what he's waiting on, but literally like I gotta get the show going. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the slate. We talked about the the guys to watch. Game number 1 tonight. It's going to start at 7 p.m., so no late lock here. A couple of games right there at that 7 p.m. time slot. 2 games to speak of. The T-Wolves at the Pacers. Project starting 5 for the T-Wolves. Ricky Rubio, D'Angelo Russell crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd taking on Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, Justin Holiday, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner. We got 233 total and a 2-point spread in favor of the home team Indiana Pacers. Be very cognitive of the fact that all the Pacers are basically questionable. The big 3 outside of Karis LeVert would be Malcolm Brogdon, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner. Will get you caught up. Malcolm Brogdon listed as questionable with a hip. He practiced on Monday, but he sat out of Tuesday's. He sat out of Tuesday's game, so maybe it was one of those back-to-back sit one, play one. Jeremy Lamb has a Q tag on him. He has a sprained right toe. His minutes have been on the decline in recent weeks, but he's coming off a 6-steal game on Tuesday because that's sustainable. Look for him in his status coming out. Domantas Sabonis is listed as left ankle sprain. He sat out of practice on Monday, didn't play on Tuesday, so there's a chance he misses both these games. I believe he missed practice over the weekend as well. And then Miles Turner dealing with a sprained left ankle. He left yesterday's game early with the injury, and he did not return. And if he's unable to go, it gets ugly. That front court could be guys like Goga Bitadze, Jakar Sampson, Doug McDermott might have to stretch out a little bit. Matter of fact, if we go look at what they ended up doing last night, I mean, there's no surprise why Nikola Vucevic was the highest scorer on the slate. They just had no beef in the front court. So it looks like Goga Bitadze had 18 minutes after the or in the whole game. Miles Turner basically got injured to start the second half, and Bitadze played much of his minutes, probably like 14 minutes in the second half. And then Jakar Sampson was in the mix. Yeah, it would probably just be Bitadze, and that may not be a great thing, but it would offer potential value today if he's unable to go, because he is a 3K bare bones min on DraftKings. T-Wolves has been a fine matchup. So definitely somebody that might be uncomfortable to click, but I don't think I would be immune to playing him if all these guys are out. It definitely sounds like Sabonis should be somebody that we treat as a little bit closer to doubtful. 19 minutes last night, 24 fantasy points. I mean, his game log is pristine. Look at it. It's like double-digit fantasy points for barely double-digit minutes. So if you give him a couple extra minutes, it definitely looks like a per-minute basis. He has a definite chip in the chair considering the matchup. And the foul trouble is 5 fouls there in 11 minutes against Miami. Not what you want. Did they play against Minnesota? No. Maybe there's some foul proneness to watch out for. But at bare bones min price, this is the lowest risk, highest decent reward spot. So I'd be looking at him if these guys are all rolled out. Obviously, we'd also keep an eye on Karis LeVert. He's 8,500 on FanDuel, 7,100 on DraftKings. Usage rate should be through the moon. Last night, he played 32 minutes, and the game was kind of... He only played 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, so I'm assuming the game was a little bit abnormal for him to only see the court for 5 minutes there. 15, 20. So it would still easily lead the team in usage, and then him and TJ McConnell. I'd probably have a goldfish memory on TJ McConnell and treat the T-Wolves as a much more plus matchup. T-Wolves, of course, look a little bit different as a team with Rubio and D'Angelo Russell back in the mix. It's not the same backup replacement level lineup that they were rocking with, but still a matchup that I think long-term will be a plus spot. The Pacers being a 2-point favorite, obviously I wouldn't put them as a 2-point favorite if I had all three of those guys out on a back-to-back. So maybe Vegas is kind of leaving some room for 1, 2 of these guys playing, maybe all three. So definitely something to watch for. Luckily, it'll be the first game after lock. I'm going to drag Raj in here and get...
Yo.
Here.
What we looking at?
Glad you could join us.
I literally tagged you, asked you at 1 o'clock. Are you streaming? 259 hits. Are you streaming?
Did you look at the slate?
Yeah.
What world do I do this stream at 4? Like what?
I don't know if the Osmo man called you today. I don't know. You just don't know.
Shaking my head. T-Wolves and Pacers. The game we're chopping up. Pacers with 3 guys potentially iffy, probably, maybe, with Brogdon, Sabonis, Turner, all of them questionable. I think Brogdon's the guy that we can lean closer to in. Sabonis has not practiced in a couple days, and Turner left yesterday's game and didn't come back. So if I had to guess right now, I'd plan for Brogdon being in and Sabonis, Turner being out, and then McDermott and Bataze being kind of like the value plays there. What do you do with this one, Raj?
I mean, those 2 bigs are out. I think Bataze becomes, kind of a stone minimum, pretty chalk guy. It's upside. I mean, could he get you 10x? Sure. Got 24 in 19 minutes last week in Chicago. Minnesota, elite matchup. I think you just lock him in and move on at that price. Brogdon and Karis LeVert. We're going to pick between the 2. I'll probably go Karis LeVert. I think he does a little bit better of a player. But, I mean, does Brogdon lead this team in usage if both of them play together? Maybe. He's cheap. And playing them together is intriguing. Even though I think they both take away from each other, like the assists, they definitely cut into each other. They both might need to score 25-plus points here to keep this game competitive. So pairing them up, I think, is interesting in tournaments. I don't think a lot of people will do that, but definitely one or the other in almost every lineup against Minnesota. Minnesota side, I mean, Cat should smash here. 10-7 on DK.
Hey, it definitely should. I think the price point is kind of up there. 10.7 on DK, 11.4 on FanDuel. With D'Angelo Russell being back in the mix, you might argue that eats just enough. D-Russ is under 7K. He was supposed to be off the bench with a minutes restriction the other day, and I guess like for whatever it's worth, it did happen. He played 24 minutes, but he was still just an incredibly optimal play at 25 real points and 40 fantasy points.
2 fantasy points per minute. Like, that's insane.
It's and the Kings' worst defense in basketball, so it's not an anomaly. And then Rubio, like, that was the night that we thought Rubio and D-Russ were out, and then we were just going to load up on Edwards and Cat.
Yeah.
And then Rubio played 27 minutes in that game, just 15 fantasy points for him. So, like, I feel like there's a more common range of outcome at this price today for Cat that he's maybe not a fantastic stone nuts play. I mean, we're talking Harden by himself pricing, Russell Westbrook pricing right now for Cat, and it's just like the total's there. So I don't like I'm going to be off of Cat, but I feel like the price is going to be enough to keep me away from maybe tier 1 exposure. Just kind of looking at the rest of the slate, we have a Russell Westbrook, we have a Luka against Houston, and then we have Kyrie and Katie without James Harden. So there's a couple options here on the high end on where to put this money. And at 10.7 for Cat, I mean, being a top 5 price, really a top 4 because Harden's out, you might argue he has to be the highest scorer on the slate if you're going to pay for him. So will he be that? I think it's still possible that he is. And
Great tournament play.
Yeah, it's still possible that he is, but 50 is a little less like cool. Like if you get 50, all right, but can he get me that 60, 70, and can he outscore the Westbrook? And I think that's just the way you have to approach Cat today, unless we get more definitive news on like a D-Russ or Rubio being more limited. Seems hard to suggest that Russell would get significantly less minutes. You feel like the plan is for him to stretch out a little bit more. So, do you play D-Russ? Like I only wrote him down for 18 minutes, still kind of going off that minutes limit suggestion, but he's under 7K on both sites.
I think 18 minutes is a little light. He played 24 last minute, so why won't he play 28?
I definitely might move it up a little bit, but it's definitely like a less enthralling matchup. Like the Sacramento Kings, literally the best matchup in the league, and
I think
even if the Pacers are down in the front court, like. They're like Brogdon, LeVert, TJ McConnell, like those aren't like pushover guys. So like everything went perfect for Russ for in that last spot. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe a glass ceiling in minutes might keep me away. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean at 6,400 DK, I mean there's definitely upside at that price. But he's the type of guy who'll get you a 40 bomb and the next game get you a 20 bomb. So I mean if he's popular, I'll definitely fade him and move to other pieces. But if he's not, I like it. If he's like less than 10%. I don't mind getting to a little bit of Russell for upside there.
Let me get caught up on Jay here. What up, Paul? I'm back from vacation. Can you start for March 13th? Yeah, I got you. Guys, baseball season's just 2 weeks away. I can't wait. Opening day, April 1st. That's all I got. D-Russ back. Never mind. No Cat for me. I still think Cat's playable. Like, don't run. Especially if, like, we saw what Vucevic was able to do last night versus the Pacers don't really have a center. It's Goga Bitadze and help me. Like, Sabonis and Turner, like, that's all the beef they got. So, like, I'm definitely not ruling out Cat. But I will say, like, the ranges of outcomes at this price point definitely leave some opportunity for disappointment and average playability. So, if I'm playing him at this price point, 10-7 on DK, that's a top 4 price on the slate. On 11-4 on FanDuel, where we can get away with 2 studs on FanDuel, but 11-4 on FanDuel, he is the most expensive player on the entire slate. So, in my mind, you have to be the highest scorer on the entire slate for it to really kind of pay off. I'll take a 50. Like, I don't feel like a 50 is going to stop me from cashing, and I still think the raw points equal or valuable, but I don't know. I didn't say that to get people off of Cat. I just wanted everyone to be like cognitive and appreciate the price he's actually at. With that said, I have him at a ridiculous price point at 38 minutes right now, or not price point, a ridiculous minute projection. High 30s. Yeah. Was it Cat that I saw on social media the other day? Post that he had got the first shot of the vaccination. Like,
I don't even know.
I feel like it was, because I feel like somebody had left a comment on that, but yeah, I'm gonna watch out for that. Luckily, my best lines on FanDuel had Canner over Turner. Yeah, it was, for me, it was Canner, Turner, and Montrez, and once Montrez and Turner got smacked, I was like, wow. And then, of course, Canner being as cheap as he was on FanDuel, you'd imagine there was a high correlation between Canner and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So it was all bad. It was all bad. McConnell all the way gun in bounce back if Brogdon is out. Yeah, I'd be willing to go right back to the well on TJ McConnell. I mean, last night, goldfish memory is a saying in our community for a reason, right? 5-1. I need that 30 fantasy points. Maybe the median range of outcome is 30. But last night I only got 25 minutes. And one of McConnell's strengths is how he gets fantasy points. Usually with like assists and steals. He had 2 steals last night, but Jeremy Lamb had 6 of them. So Lamb kind of stole his thunder a little bit, and maybe they protect Lamb on a back-to-back. Yeah, 6 steals last night for Jeremy Lamb. Absolutely crazy. 3,400 would have been just like an incredible value play. But maybe look at the minutes there on TJ, because you would have thought 30 minutes would have been a little bit more in the range of outcomes. Look like Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday was in the mix, and he can be a point guard for them. Edmund Sumner started the game, didn't really finish. He only played 18 minutes. You'd have thought the minutes would have been a little bit tighter. We saw Keelan Martin in this game. Okay, I'd be willing to go back to the well, but there's definitely something a little unsettling about the lack of minutes that he got last night. But Goga Bitadze, like right now, I'm pretty much projecting Turner to not even play. I put him down at 0 minutes, and Bitadze at bare bones min on DraftKings. I'd probably just take a shot on that and see what happens. Anthony Edwards, almost 8K. Interesting. Let's move on to the next game. Wizards at the Orlando Magic. Project starting 5 for the Wizards. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Danny Advia, Rui Hachimura, Alex Len taking on Cole Anthony back in the saddle. Dwayne Bacon, James Ennis, Chuma Okeke, and Kim Birch. We got 2-2-2, and another 1-2 is our total. 3.5 point spread favor the Washington Wizards. Russell Westbrook, 11K on FanDuel, 11.1 on DraftKings. With or without Bradley Beal, he is a play for me, but Bradley Beal coming into this game yet again with a questionable tag. I'll double check on the information on him. He is listed as questionable with a hip. He has missed the past 5 games for the Wizards, which has resulted in Russell Westbrook working with a much, much higher workload. Rui Hachimura is listed as questionable with a shoulder. He's missed the past 2 games, which has resulted in more opportunity for Davis Bertans. And Robin Lopez is dealing with a quad injury. He's also being listed as questionable, and that, of course, would only amplify the opportunity for Alex Len and guys like Davis Bertans. So plenty of stuff to watch here on the Wizards side. Again, the first 2 games are kind of news heavy, but thankfully it's the first 2 games. So we should have that information with ample amount of opportunity to adjust accordingly. Russell Westbrook, with or without Bradley Beal, is really in play no matter what. Cole Anthony back in the mix for the Magic. When he was the daily starter for the Magic were the best matchup in the league for point guards. Not that I need a super plus matchup to play Russell Westbrook, but doesn't hurt to maybe look at some more Cole Anthony than MCW. The rest of this Magic team, you feel like you want to take advantage of the matchup, the Wizards defense and their pace and all that, but there's not a whole lot to love here. There's a lot of 5-6K middle of the road type stuff, and I don't have anyone at 30 minutes or greater. So maybe at 6K you thought a Wendell Carter gets there. I got him projected right around 30 fantasy points, 6K on DK that is. Maybe he falls into a lineup or 2, but that's probably it, and maybe a Terrence Ross here or there. Like, people just kind of have been soured on Terrence Ross post all these moves and figured that, he was the captain now. He was going to take over games and be a 50 fantasy point scorer. We've seen kind of a mixed bag of nuts. There's the 40s came before the all this stuff happened, and then the last 4 games after the slew of trades have been 30s and 20s. If I had to make an excuse for him, I mean, Clippers, Utah, Denver, maybe not 3 of the most alluring matchups. New Orleans kind of did a point per minute, still pushing nearly 20 shots a game. Maybe T. Ross is 6'4", is one of those take advantage of people touching the stove, getting burned, and not going back. Maybe T. Ross is a tier 3, and then I'd have Westbrook kind of as a high tier 2 no matter what. And then if Hachimura were to be out again, maybe Davis Bertans a little bit too cheap. I'd take a shot there, but I don't really like to get too highly invested in Wizards past Westbrook or Hachimura if they are. If Hachimura's out, it's probably just Westbrook, and then I'd probably have a little bit of T-Ross. What do you do with this one?
So if Bradley Beal plays, I think on FanDuel he's like an elite play at that price. He's just too cheap. 8,300 for Bradley Beal. Whenever he comes back, he's never really on a minutes limit. It's just like guy's gonna play 35 minutes. 35 minutes of Bradley Beal is a 9K player, so you're definitely getting a discount there. So I think on FanDuel would be a great play. If he sits, you play Westbrook. Don't overthink it. Price tag is up there, but he's going to most likely be the highest score on the slate. Great matchup. Orlando's not going to stop him. You just play him. If Robin Lopez is out and Hachimura is out, I kind of really like Alex Len. They just have nobody else. If Alex Len plays, he played 29 minutes last game, and I get you, it's not a comfortable click, but it's just something they got to throw out somebody. And I mean, Orlando has centers to put out there, so Alex Len I think is just going to be forced to play minutes. So those guys get ruled out. I like Alex Len as kind of a $4,600 center guy. Don't hate it. The Orlando side, I mean, this is an amazing spot for Terrence Ross. You know, he hasn't kind of won anyone to slate the past couple games that he's been against some tough matchups. Denver, he did 5, but this could be it's Washington Wizards. You know, top 3 matchup in the league. This spot he can get 40 plus. He should lead this team in shots. Give me all the Ross.
So you say that, but is it all the Ross? Like tier 3 for me, I think is my comfort level.
Tier 2, borderline. Well, I mean, it's Terrence Ross against the Wizards.
I mean, I get it, but I don't think I don't feel like I need to be overly invested in Terrence Ross at 6K because I think the median is 30. Like, how often is 40 plus? Like, this isn't like Terrence Ross when he was 5K. This is a little bit more. Okay, I'll play some Terrence Ross here. You can get 30, and then 30 at 5K feels better than 30 at 6.6. It's a tier 3 for me. Like, I think the most common range outcome is probably is 30. And then as get above 30, that's probably a little on the lower end of the spectrum. For me, it's a tier 3. Like, it's fine that he's a tier 2 for you, but for me, he's a tier 3. What about 6K Wendell Carter Jr.?
6K Wendell Carter.
It's the Wizards. Like, if you're gonna if you put the same minutes of T. Ross,
I mean, if he's gonna play 34, 35 minutes, you know, I mean, Wendell Carter is probably my favorite Orlando Magic.
Yeah, 40 plus fantasy points, 3
Yeah.
games straight.
I think he's a tier 1.
Yeah, I mean he's doing it against really tough matchups too.
Yeah, now he has one of the best matches in the league. Why not? Tier 1 it.
That Utah game is sus though. Let me get some context on that. Like for that to be like a 40-point game, was he out there against like the backups? Utah.
Yeah, it looks like it. 91-137.
Let me pull up the popcorn machine and get some factuation. Wendell Carter, he closed out, and he was going against the likes of Gorgeous Nying, Ersan Ilyasova, Matt Thomas. So maybe he did do a little stat padding that one. But he still was playing meaningful minutes early on. So that might have just been a conditioning run no matter what. So yeah, maybe I get to some Wendell Carter. Tier 1, that's strong. Tier 2 for me. Tier 2. Maybe I have to resweep all my minutes here. I got kind of some soft projections going here. But Wendell Carter, I could start him as obviously if you gave Wendell Carter and Terrence Ross the same amount of minutes, I'd probably go with the center here. It just for the safety and it just being the Wizards. So yeah, give me Wendell Carter. I'll start him as a tier 2 and T Ross as a tier 3. And Ross is going to be a high tier 2 for me right now, right? Suave for president. Raj has spoken. T Ross is the lock. Okay, Raj.
Talk about it.
Got some love here. Lopez been dominating minutes lately. So the thing with Lopez is he's questionable. So like obviously if Robin Lopez is in, it changes everything, and I just don't touch anything. But like Robin Lopez, if he's out and Rui Hachimura is out, if then Alex Len just seems like you can't get away from a mid-20s minutes projection. Should Hachimura be in, that would probably be enough to scare me off of Len with the alternatives at value at center. If both those guys are out again, it seems very plausible to suspect that Alex Len would be in line for mid to high 20s in minutes. So 9 minutes in that Toronto game, he got hurt. Quad injury. Big boys with the quads, man. You don't want to push it. Trust me, I know. New York Knicks at the Boston Celtics. Project starting 5 for the Knicks. Alfred Payton, Reggie Bullock, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Nerlens Noel taking on Marcus Smart. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Grant Williams, Robert Williams. 209s are total. A 3-point spread in favor of the home team, Boston Celtics. Seems like a couple times a month we get the Celtics without Kemba Walker. And here we go. Another opportunity of Celtics without Kemba Walker. So let's pull up Fantasy Labs. Let's do the on-off court tool. I almost should have this part of the stream memorized, but we're gonna run an on-off court tool query. Several services out there that will do the same thing for free. I believe this one is for free as well. We'll go to Boston and we'll take off Kemba Walker and we'll put on Jaylen Brown. Actually, we'll take off Kemba and we probably should take off like Daniel Tice and guys like that as well. Jeff Teague, why not? I think that'll be enough. And then we'll put on Brown and Tatum and just kind of see what it spits back. Brown, Tatum. And get my girl's in there watching the Twins, and I just hear her yelling at the TV. And it's just like, I wonder if this is what it's like to be in the other room when I'm watching the Yankees. 162 minutes sample size for Brown and Tatum here this season. About a fantasy point per minute. Both guys at a 30% usage rate, so it's kind of a two-man show. I'm all for playing these guys because of that stat and that reasoning, but do understand that this is probably going to be the slowest game on the slate and probably the lowest scoring or potential to be the lowest scoring game on the slate. If we look at the two teams' net pace rating, Knicks have run the slowest pace in basketball, Boston lower than league average, and then when it comes to defensive rating allowed or points per 100 possessions, Knicks are top 4 and Boston is struggling, but it should be a defensive grind slower type of game. So yes, Tatum and Brown without Kemba project well, but at these price points you're going to need a lot in return for chopping off a couple extra possessions here. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. I do think I have kind of an idea, like maybe just playing like KD and Kyrie or somebody like that, Westbrook. So it is an interesting thought. Robert Williams is 7'6" on FanDuel, 6'8" on DK. We have Tristan Thompson kind of back in the mix. I feel like his minutes are getting a little bit more wishy-washy. There's not like a warm and fuzzy feeling that he's going to crush that price point. And then overall, this game feels a little bit lackluster. Julius Randle, 9.4, 9.9 on DK. 38 minutes for him. Could he drop a 50 bomb? It's very possible, but obviously these seem like loose ranges of outcomes to be elite plays at the end of the day on this size slate, considering this matchup. So I'm probably pretty low. If I ended up with nobody from this game, Rods, I don't think I'm overly scared. Unless this is just like a grinded down to the wire OT game or something like that. I feel like pre-flop, if this game was not in my player pool, I wouldn't hate it, but I understand the viability in a couple of plays. What are you doing with this one?
I mean, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, no Kemba Walker, no Evan Fournier. You know they're going to run the show. Obviously, a huge pace down spot for them, but I think with the usage, this could be a Jaylen Brown 50 bomb and a Tatum 50 bomb. So I wouldn't fade them. I would have some of both guys.
Right.
Definitely more Jaylen Brown, maybe Jaylen Brown tier 2, Tatum tier 3. And the New York side, I feel like every time Julius Randle is low owned, he wins tournaments. Like when there's other guys.
The other day was so annoying because Harden got injured, and I felt like that maybe kept the game a little bit different for me pre-flop.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, no, I mean Randle has the knack right now for just demolishing slates. Might even be like a dark. I don't even know if a dark horse is the word, but like people, he might be the most improved player based on how the casuals vote for that award. Like it wouldn't shock me if he got that award.
I mean, wouldn't shock me at all too. So I think Julius Randle is great in tournaments. I don't think anyone's going to get to him with the other stuff on this slate. He could be a 60 bomb. So give me Randle, give me some Brown and Tatum. Don't get too cute with any of the other guys.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that Evan Fournier, who's been out a couple games, is not expected to play this game as well. So even more of a maybe minutes floor on Brown and Tatum at 36 minutes. Again, kind of an ugly matchup, ugly game, but the usage is there for those guys. And even Marcus Smart might be hidden in plain sight at 6K. So Smart, Brown, Tatum, I'd probably allow them in the tier 3 player pool. If they fell, they fell. But I don't think I prioritize them. Like, I wouldn't put a min percentage on them. I'd probably just let the projections be the projections and probably cap them all at, 25? That's from where I'm sitting now. I could change going forward, but I just feel like I'm not that enamored with this spot. Let me get caught up on chat here before we move on with the next one. Josh says, I'm fading this Celtics-Knicks game. What up, Earth to Air? How you doing, buddy? I see says Zion, but nobody on the board. Yep, I would say fade. Say go Brown. Want some Brown? I can get down with that. Let's move on to the next game. New Orleans Pelicans at the Brooklyn Nets. Project 25 for the Pelicans. Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Stone Cold Steven Adams. It's going to get one board. What? Up against Kyrie Irving, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and LaMarcus Aldridge. We got 233.5 total. A 9-point spread in favor of the home team Brooklyn Nets. And the Pelicans have been limping along game by dang game. And here we go. It's a 30-minute after main slate lock. Tip off. We know these basketball games don't ever start on time. But let's get caught up on the news because there's quite a bit of news on the Pelican side. We'll start with Kira Lewis Jr. back up to Lonzo Ball. Right calf strain. He's questionable to play. He has missed the last 2 games with injury. Isaiah Thomas signed a 10-day. Says he plans to play in this back-to-back. He finished yesterday with 10 points on 4 of 13 shooting with 2 boards, 2 assists, 4 turnovers in 25 minutes. He said, I feel like a rookie all over again. 25 minutes is something that maybe we'd be cognitive of at this price point, considering that this matchup might need a scoring. And if you game script it to be a little bit of a blowout, maybe he's just out there in the fourth quarter chucking, having some fun with the Brooklyn crowd. NAW, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, currently listed as out. He has a left ankle sprain. Brandon Ingram is the biggest one to watch here. He missed yesterday's game. He's actually missed the last 4 games with a sore right foot. It would not be shocking to see him rested once more in this matchup against Kevin Durant. Obviously, we know Josh Hart's going to be out again. He tore his UCL. And then Jackson Hayes is listed as questionable. but that's in lingering. He's not on the most recent injury report. And lastly, Zion Williamson did play yesterday. Right thumb injury. He
What in the world?
She's watching the Twins game. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Anything happened in the Twins game? Anyway, Zion came back in the action. Came back to action yesterday. He was dealing with a right thumb. Scored 34 points, had 5 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. So a real point per minute, essentially. But kind of not like a great fantasy play on that stat line, 979K. So right up there with like the Julius Randle levels of price point and kind of needing that production. 233.5 is our total here. Plenty of implied points. The news on the net side, no James Harden here, but they are going to get back Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant on FanDuel, he's kind of achieved that Paul George pricing where he's under 9K. You just feel like you don't not play him. Double negative. You might have some worries on like what his minutes projection would look like. I put him at 30. I don't really think that I would expect him to be like high, like 38. So Steve Nash is still expected to limit KD's minutes to some extent in his first game in nearly 2 months. He's also a candidate to sit out at least one half of the back-to-back. So we're playing with, is he limited? Is he on a minutes restriction? 9,200 versus 8,800. Like, I'm looking for a shot at 50 fantasy points. I'd live at 45. And then Kyrie Irving, no matter what here, I think without James Harden, has an opportunity to be one of the slate leaders in fantasy points accrued. 37 minutes against the Knicks. We talked about how slow the Knicks are and how solid they are on defense. This matchup is going against one of the worst defenses in basketball. And if you're going to get that type of minutes and opportunity, definitely like his propensity to be a high-end play and maybe a double-double candidate if we get those assists up now that KD's on the court. So I do like some Kyrie. I'll probably have to wait to get some more clarity on what we might expect for Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant may not need but 28, 30 minutes to kind of get you a 50 in this matchup anyway. So might be something to think about. Maybe I just end up as a tier 3 and accept whatever happens. I likely don't play any of these other nets like Aldridge, Blake Griffin, guys like that. I'm probably just leaning heavily on Kyrie. And then on the Pelican side, if Ingram is out, I said it yesterday, Raj. I think Lonzo Ball, people don't like to pay this price on Lonzo, but he's playing at a crazy level right now, and a lot of the other guard minute eaters are down. So just 30 minutes yesterday in a little lopsided game, he still dropped 50, almost triple-doubled. And, this is a matchup that maybe we can get to the 40-plus fantasy point threshold as well. So Lonzo would probably be somebody that I would start as a tier 3. If Brandon Ingram was in, I'd be a little less bullish on that thought process for Lonzo. If Ingram is out, I think you could chip it a chair, Zion and Lonzo. And then if you game scripted this game getting lopsided, a blowout, Pelicans back-to-back without all of their weapons, probably a bad team anyway. Maybe Isaiah Thomas just goes out there in garbage time in the fourth quarter and just kind of chucks. Let me see what he did where the bulk of his minutes were yesterday against Atlanta. Because that's 100K to first thought, right? Like, that's not cash or anything like that. But yesterday, Isaiah Thomas played the entire fourth quarter. So 10-day contract. If it's a blowout, he's just out there balling. Maybe he's cheap enough if you game script the blowout to just go out there and have one of those 20-point quarters. And it'd be one of those spots where, like, even the other team, like Kyrie and KD, would probably be on the other bench smiling about it. So that's my thoughts on that one. Any hot takes from you on this one?
I mean, again, I think it really comes down to waiting on the news with New Orleans. If Brandon Ingram's out, I think you go right back to Lonzo Ball and the Zion Williamson pairing. Probably going to get you a combined 100 fantasy points. I'll take that all day, every day at their prices. I mean, and the third guy, James Johnson's been good to me, but with everyone back, not what I'm going to run to. Najee Marshall, 30, 24, 28 minutes, 3,900 on DraftKings. So I think that's a bit of a value option you can get to against the Nets. I don't hate it. He can get you a 30-plus game, which I'll take every day. Bledsoe is just a little too inconsistent for me to have any confidence. I'll probably go Terrence Ross over Bledsoe at the same price. On the Brooklyn side, so when it comes to Durant, I'm just kind of worried about the minutes. Does he come back and play 30 minutes? Does he come back and play 20 minutes? If he plays 20, you don't want to play him. I think you can even get there in 30 minutes. You give him 30 minutes, this matchup, it's Kevin Durant. He can get you a 50 bomb. So in tournaments, don't hate it. Kyrie, 10-2, definitely got priced up. He scored 40 real-life points and only got 56 fantasy points. That's little, you'd expect a little more. But, again, it's the Pelicans. I then want to have some Kyrie to gauge the target. So give me Kyrie, give me some Durant, give me Lonzo, Zion, and probably some Marshall.
If Ingram's out, right? You're not just playing Najee.
Yeah, if Ingram's out. Yeah, Ingram's out.
If Ingram's out, I can get back. James Johnson's probably priced up a little too much.
All right, priced up a little too much for me.
Yeah. Steven Adams, a center against the Nets.
I get it, but I prefer Wendell Carter over him.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned a couple other centers at that price tag. It's Steven Adams. You know what you're getting, kind of.
So Brandon Woodruff of the Milwaukee Brewers is a bunch of zeros through 5 innings, and his pitch count is really low. So
he has a no-hitter going.
Shut up! Also, it's a little bit more than that. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. God dang it, Raj. Brewers fans everywhere are going to find you now. Memphis Grizzlies. Let me get caught up on chat. I'm sorry, chat. What's up? What's up, Crispy? No Harden, Kyrie, lock him in. Yeah, I think Kyrie's a stud no matter what. Even with KD, I think that's fine. It's just more assist potential. Mickey hit into a double play. Oh, okay, that's why. All right. Faded Bieber early slate. Oof. The pitching was fantastic on the early slate. Just the time of the slate sucked. Yeah, but I definitely would have had some Woodruff. So now I'm kind of, but then I look at like what bats are doing well or not doing well, and I can't really confidently say that I would have had the bats to make it happen. Last night again, Raj, again. I had a top 15 finish on both sides again, and I was just one swing away. I had a lineup with Ryan McMahon, Bo Bichette, and
you caught that 3 home run game?
Yeah, several times, yeah. And then I had 3 guys in my lineup with 2 homers.
Jesus.
And then at the triple, yeah. So it was really solid. But Tommy La Stella got rolled out, so I had a global swap La Stella to Wilmer Flores in a terrible matchup against you, Darvish, and I ate that 0. Also, Joey Gallo only drew a walk yesterday in a nutty matchup. So again, I keep getting one swing away from first place, man. So it's coming. That's why I was hoping today would be a main slate, but I'm just gonna have to savor the bullets for tomorrow. With Aaron Judge not in the lineup. How many minutes for Jackson Hayes? Yeah, so that's that. Raj, keep an eye on that. Jackson Hayes has been out. I think you would destroy Najee Marshall if you would really want to play that.
You're right. Yeah. He's off. Yeah. So I mean, Hayes gets 20 minutes. Marshall. Yeah, probably doesn't play too much. Hernan Gomez will lose his. He only played 6 minutes, but he played 26, 21 games before that. So yeah, I mean, Jackson Hayes is in, that probably takes away Marshall. It could be just a Zion and Lonzo show. I wonder what Lonzo's ownership will be at that price. He's been killing him, but people still might be scared of the price.
Yeah, I don't think people get there. Jose Ramirez double dong. So that was your early save play. Memphis Grizzlies at the Atlanta Hawks. Next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Grizzlies. John Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Jonas Valanciunas taking on Trae Young, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kevin Huerter, Solomon Hill, Clint Capella. We got 225.5 total. 2-point spread in favor of the home team, Atlanta Hawks. Yesterday, Brandon Clark got rolled out kind of late, and it seems like a trend lately. If Brandon Clark gets rolled out, maybe Kyle Anderson. Not what I'm saying. Like lately, when Brandon Clark gets rolled out, we have a couple guys in the voice chat going, "I will play some Kyle Anderson."
Who's leading the charge? Your boy right here.
It's Kyle Anderson with 40 fantasy points yesterday against Miami. We've been seeing some stronger performances against Miami lately too. So, just out of curiosity, Kyle Anderson DKP by game log without Brandon Clark last 5 games. I feel like this has happened more than once lately. 40, 28, 39, 30. So really, he's kind of giving you 30 the last 5 times without Clark all in this season. And none of them are like crazy minute projections either. So it's not like he's getting to 35 minutes because of Clark, but it just seems like everyone's kind of getting there. Once Brandon Clark gets rolled out, I was like, all right, I'll throw slow-mo in the pool. And yesterday was another example. And today probably gets a more plus matchup. Both teams on a back-to-back. I do think, like, usually I stay away from the Grizzlies because of how scattered their minutes are. I think Ja Morant's in the mix today. I think Ja Morant, we talked about the price point on Lonzo. Like, Ja Morant's right there, too. He might keep some people away from Lonzo or even some people away from Ja Morant. 29, 29, 28. I'm looking for 40 plus. It's not a consistent range of outcome, but I do think it is a range of outcome as he dropped 44 against the Hawks earlier this season in 33 minutes. I do think Jonas Valanciunas has a chip in a chair. He's under 7K on FanDuel. Could he get to nearly 40 fantasy points without Brandon Clark? I think that's very valuable. And then on the Hawks side, still dealing without John Collins, no Chris Dunn, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, and Danilo Gallinari is questionable. And I think this might be more so for the back-to-back, but give me a second to verify that information. Danilo Gallinari dealing with left knee soreness, questionable to play this game. So if Gallo didn't play, probably even stronger reason to believe in like Clint Capella, and I already like Trae Young as it is. Bogdan, 7,200 on FanDuel on Bogdan Bogdanovic, but
I love that price. So no one will get to him with if Gallo sits.
Yeah, I love.
Waiting to happen. It's the Memphis Grizzlies.
I don't know. Grizzlies are like middling, like pace. Like it's 6'5", maybe a little bit harder to justify or easier to justify. But right now, just give me Trae Young, Clint Capella. I'm gonna keep it a little bit simple. And then a little kiss of Ja Morant, like a little bit, not much, a little bit, tier 3. And then J-Val, I think, is the one to really kind of meditate on. Like J-Val probably...
Kyle Anderson at his price is tier 1 for me. Will be probably a top 3 high.
Never tier 1 Kyle Anderson. It's the
5,500. They're out. You also have, Melton's out. I like this Memphis team.
But even with those guys out, I still got Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, Xavier Tillman.
I like Desmond Bane.
It's not like they're like it's not like these guys being out. I can now put Kyle Anderson at 35 minutes. Like I still have modest minute projections for these guys. So I'm not like I disagree with like I can't love the Grizzlies here, but it is a plus matchup, and there's reason to be curious with some Grizzlies. But love is a strong word.
I mean, so on DraftKings, he's 5,500. It's cheaper on DraftKings than FanDuel, which you don't see a lot. So I'd tier 1 him on DraftKings, even at 6,300 on FanDuel. I mean, I think the small forward position, I'll take a quick glance at it. You got Durant. If Ingram sits, you have Jaylen Brown, Porter, Bogdanovic. Yeah, I mean, I'd still go tier 1. I'm rolling with Kyle Anderson today. Tier 1ing him. No Brandon Clark. It's the Atlanta Hawks. I'm rolling with it. Tier 1 for me. Ja Morant, I like pairing those guys together. Big spot for, like I said, drop 40 plus. They both dropped 40 plus against Atlanta last time. So take that all day, every day. I think I like Bogdan over Capella. Straight 1v1.
You're out of your mind.
Could be. I definitely could be.
That's a word that starts with R.
Capella is 10-4 on FanDuel. I don't know what? I'm not paying 10-4 for Capella.
I mean, sure, on FanDuel, sure, but like
that's a ridiculous price.
But also, like the Grizzlies give up the most blocks per game, right?
Okay.
Capella's averaging over 2 blocks per game. Like he could easily block his way into 15 fantasy points.
No, good. Hey, I play a lot of Capella. When did you get to 10-4? I mean, usually like an 8-5.
I mean, without John Collins, right? So many people out. Like it's there's 50 plus fantasy point potential sitting there.
Last 5 minutes.
I'm gonna look at the last couple centers against the Grizzlies here. Bam Adebayo yesterday, 56 fantasy points, 34 Bam Adebayo was like a top 5 fantasy point scorer. Cat 59 and 35 minutes. Rudy Gobert 34 and 37 minutes, and Kelly Olynyk 44 and 34 minutes. So centers have been doing just fine. Sure, 10 plus. It's like at that point you feel like I'll just go get Karl-Anthony Towns at this price, right? Like 11-4 versus 10-4, like $1,000 difference. But again, there's still 50 fantasy points in this matchup, so I wouldn't just like dismiss it lazily. But I will say DraftKings under 9K a little bit better of a price point. By the way, Russell Miller is probably going to kill you if if the Cubs mess it up. He says this Brewers stop with the he said this Brewers fan will be so tilted if Raj just jinxed this. My effing goodness. Oh my god. Juliano says Desmond Bain cash game lock. I got Bain at 22 minutes. It's 4+ K, so I probably need the 25 fantasy points to feel like I'm getting a good deal. Definitely not out of the realm possibility here, but cash game lock. Okay. Did something happen that like no just the Melton minutes? That's why you guys are on Desmond Bain.
Yeah, Melton's out, so
yeah. Again, man, like all these people being out, the Grizzlies aren't necessarily like down to 8 men, you know. It's like let me look at this Memphis depth chart, kind of show you guys what we're working with. Y'all. So we have Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, John Concher, Xavier Tillman. I don't know. I maybe all my minutes are a little bit too conservative all the way on the slate. Maybe I come back and adjust some stuff. Desmond Bain seems extremely scoring dependent, but he's cheap enough and is a matchup soft enough that sure.
Yeah.
If I could stretch John Morant's minute projection up a little bit higher, I definitely would start to believe in Morant a little bit more. Like I say, he dropped over 44 fantasy points last time. It's a plus spot for me.
You know who dropped 45 fantasy points? Kyle Anderson.
This mother. Tonight on Twitter, I hope Kyle Anderson goes off and we can all rejoice in a fun night at DFS, and I'll just get how they get tickets in my mentions all night. 10-10 Capella's 10-4 agreed no. I would again, I don't want to dismiss that. Like I understand like the volatility at that price point for a guy that's really just dependent on somebody else feeding him the ball in the paint, but I'm not against 10K for Capella. I'm not a tier 1, but in this matchup,
point per dollar, you have to like Bogdanovich more if Gallinari sits.
Are you talking his 7-2 versus 10-4? I don't think so. Like I think on the range of outcome, like so on FanDuel, we compare shooting guard to center, right? We're talking what 7K area for Bogdan, or is Boggy he's a small forward on FanDuel. So let's just look at what he's dealing with. Jaylen Brown's a couple hundred more. KD's 8-8. I'll say the position might be scarce enough that I get there. Colin Anderson is about 1,000 cheaper. Maybe the position's scarce enough that I can overpay for 35-40. But points per dollar, I feel like the range of outcomes for Capella getting 50 over Bogdan getting 40, like Capella wins that seesaw the majority of the time. Like it's not impossible to go the other way, points per dollar.
Yeah.
But especially for FanDuel scoring, with where blocks being weighted what they are, like Capella's in an elite spot. So just I don't know, 7-2. I'll tell you what, if he was,
Bogdan's got like 350s in his past 5 essentially.
Yeah. If Bogdan was if he was a shooting guard, I might have a little bit more pushback. I'm starting to think I might get more Bogdan than.
Here we go.
But it's because of how shallow the small forward pool is. Like small forward on FanDuel is, you got the question marks on KD, who's already not that expensive. Ingram might not be played. Jaylen Brown without Kemba, yeah, that's an option. Edwards is dealing with D'Angelo Russell, Ricky Rubio back. Michael Porter, 7K for him, back-to-back. Bogdan's there. Gordon Hayward's out. You can't play him. Kevin Porter with John Wall probable. I guess the 6'6" is a chip in a chair, but whatever. Kyle Anderson's there. Yeah, the position is that shallow that I really probably get more Bogdan than my knee-jerk reaction like probably suggested I would. So maybe. But you don't win this. It's only because of how bad the position is. Let's move on to... it says Morant was helped off the court last night. See, I saw you say that earlier, but it says Morant played in the fourth quarter and left with all the starters. So, when did this happen? Because he played 29 minutes, or yeah.
So he exited
30.
the game late with the back injury.
All the starters exited the game late, though. Is what I'm saying. I agree. I'm not like, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not dogging that call, but like, is there more context to it? Because from what I'm looking at, they were all the starters left the game at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, if we are worried he might be a little sore, it's a bump up to Kyle Anderson.
I would agree with that, and then it would be a bump up to like Dylan Brooks, Tyus Jones gets into the conversation, and then J Val. So I'll keep it on that. I definitely got to do some more research on that when I'm off the air. Chad, if you guys have any like links or something that could maybe clarify that whole situation, let me double check the injury report I got.
And I know you mentioned back to backs. I guess last back to back, Kyle Anderson, he did drop for minutes. He played like 33 minutes and went down to 21 the next day. Hey, that's a little worrisome, especially with Memphis already with the minutes thing not being so great. So that is a little worry, but I'm gonna just roll with it.
So this blurb I'm reading says we've yet to see how John Morant was actually injured, but he was in a ton of pain and needed assistance in leaving the court. It's a little surprising. That's from April 6th. So yeah, it was from yesterday. So I guess so. Am I looking at the wrong minutes game? Hold on, let me double check. I might be looking at the wrong chat. That might be on me. No, Memphis. Oh, April 6th. Maybe that's from the game against Chicago. No. Well, like next couple 3 of 8. Yeah, I don't know. That's from yesterday, last night. We'll keep an eye on that. That's a good call, good catch, Josh. But definitely something we should all keep an eye on. I'm gonna asterisk that and double check. I'm scared to play KD for that price. I mean, it's for me. I think it's if I was running one lineup, I maybe don't get the KD. But if I'm running 50 lineups, I probably get some just on the off chance that even at 25 to 30 minutes, he gets to like a 2x. Output. And on FanDuel, I was just kind of talked myself into some Bogdanovich based on how shallow that position is. I might even get to a little bit more KD than I wanted to. But much like I'm going to be looking for some John Morant clarity, I'm be looking for some like Steve Nash blurbs, some of those pregame interviews where information comes out on whether or not Durant would be on a minutes limit. I think what I could see happening is a quote coming out saying Kevin Durant will not have a minutes restriction, but it's like tongue-in-cheek. Like they're going to not play him 38 minutes in his first game back. So maybe we don't overreact to a statement like that. Plus, we parlay that with the fact that it's already a near 10-point spread, and maybe if Ingram gets rolled out, maybe that spread goes up even further. Let's move on to the next game here. Houston Rockets hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Project starting 5 for the Mavs: Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, Kristaps Porzingis taking on John Wall, Kevin Porter, Jayshawn Tate, Kelly Olynyk, and Christian Wood at 2-2-2. And another one, 2 is our total, 10.5-point spread. Favorite of the visiting team, Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, 10.3 on FanDuel, 10.9 on DraftKings. Always right there in the mix for 50-60 fantasy points. Would be one of the upper echelon options to consider. And then Kristaps Porzingis looking for 40 to 50 fantasy points. He's in the mix as well. Those are the only 2 Mavericks that I really probably consider here. Porzingis does have a lingering Q tag. Let me see if that's been changed since I've gone on the air. I do know I probably don't play Boban if Porzingis is rolled out. My goodness, did that kill me? Porzingis is probable. Maxi Kleber, however, now has a Q tag on him with right lower leg soreness. So we'll see if he can go. But Porzingis, Luka, definitely a handcuff worth noting. And then John Wall is expected to play this one. A lot of prices have got to where I don't feel like I'm getting a fantastic deal on the Rockets. KPJ, John Wall, Christian Wood. I still think there's ranges of outcomes individually, so maybe I set a correlation to only have like 1 or 2 Rockets in a lineup. But no one here is like giving me the strong warm and fuzzies other than grabbing a decent chunk of Luka and just letting it ride. What are you doing with this one?
So Porzingis is in. I feel like I'm not going to have a ton of Luka, and I probably won't get to a ton of Porzingis. It just seems like it's not a game we want to target too much. definitely not going back like you said. I didn't play any Boban. I don't know how you got to him, but
You don't know how I played Boban. Is that a real?
No, that's late.
What? You don't know how I got to 3K Boban without Porzingis after playing 24 minutes in the last game with 33. You don't know. You can't see how I got the Boban.
No. I was giving up the center spot on yesterday's slate. Miles Turner, even though he.
This wasn't yesterday, by the way. This was the.
Day before. Okay,
yeah.
maybe that.
And like I understand, like on the slate where you got 24 minutes, there was also no Claybaugh. But don't come at me with that bull crap. I don't know how you got the Boban.
I was thinking it was yesterday. I was like, there's something.
Oh, freak out of here.
I checked in. But yeah, so Dallas side, I mean, with everyone kind of there, I think I might be okay crossing this game out in general. I mean, I know John Wall should be playing today, expects to play. He's 8-1. He always has 40, 45 point plus upside. But other than that, like I'm probably not going to get any Christian Wood along with him. I think this game's just a cross off.
There's a couple one-offs here, but I don't feel pressure to stack. By the way, chat. Woodruff is now through 6.
Perfect
Russ,
game.
shut up! God dang it, Russ, how we doing out there? What are we? We're counting outs now. We counting outs now. 9 outs. Ooh. So if you're sweating it though, the Brewers don't have a run yet. So you really need the Brewers to put up a run here. And
imagine throwing a perfect game and not.
Imagine have like an 11. But you know what could happen? Literally could happen. He could go in the 10th inning, and it could be an unearned loss perfect game. Probably like that's a range of outcome because they start the extras with the runner on second. You could sack fly to runner the third, and you could even like wild pitch or even sack fly another guy home, and it would be
he's only thrown 56 pitches.
Yeah, no, he's on one right now. He's feeling it. So just know that we could see a pitcher lose like that could be a range of outcome here.
Did that happen once before?
I think it's happened in like college softball or something, but I don't think it's happened. I don't think it's happened in the majors because this is a new rule. But yeah, like you could see 2 sack flies. Like, yeah, that's weird. Anyway, let's move on to the next game here. Charlotte Hornets at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Project starting 5 for the Hornets. Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, Bismack Biyombo taking on Theo Maledon, Svi Mikhailiuk, Kenrich Williams, Alexis Pokusevsky, and Moses Brown. A 213.5 total, 5.5 point spread in favor of the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets are going to be without not only LaMelo Ball, but also no Gordon Hayward. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, potentially some P.J. Washington. All those guys very, very viable. Easy to justify based on minutes and usage. The pace and total of this game is not anything that we want to write home about. But on this slate, I think they're all in play here. Maybe I don't end up with a full stack, but I would end up with some. The Thunder become a little bit harder to gravitate towards at their price points. They seem very, very evenly distributed. Maybe Moses Brown is 6'2". We forget that he has the propensity to drop 30, 40 fantasy points in this spot. But with Tony Bradley lurking, the minutes are, probably just going to sit there at 28, 29. And I think a point per minute is very valuable here. So, Raj, what's sticking out to you from this one early on? I think that this obviously feels more like a one-off game or so. But, like, if you wanted to stack it, like, if for some reason you woke up this morning and said, I want to stack Thunder and Hornets, you could get away with it. Like, it's very cheap.
Most definitely could. I mean, with Isaiah Roby still out, Bailey out, I'm going right back to Pokusevsky. Pokusevsky. I mean, so the shots are there. He just needs to get a few more of these peripherals. Like, he took 19 shots last game, 19 real-life points, but only 27 DK. So if you get the rebounds against a Charlotte team, I don't hate it. So give me some of him. Maledon, 5 for like Maledon's price is nice. The minutes just aren't what I want them to be. I think it might just be Pokusevsky for me. And Charlotte's side, Gordon Hayward's out. We got LaMelo Ball out. I mean, it's Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier. I mean, I think you might have one of those guys in every lineup, at least one of them.
It's tough. I'm gonna go run an on-off court query here and kind of see what I'm getting at. But yeah, I mean, like I get it. Like, yeah, it seems very viable that one or the other. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. What are you doing there?
Which I think I might have more Devontae Graham and Terry just because of price thing. Terry Rozier at 8.4. I just think he can get you a 40 and I'll be kind of whatever. But Devontae Graham has, I think, similar upside, 6,900. Give me some of him. Just gonna have to chuck a lot of shots. Gonna have to do some playmaking. I mean, he's gonna be the lead point guard right now. Rozier is more of a scoring guard. I think Graham is gonna be a lot more playmaking duties with no LaMelo and no Gordon Hayward. So I like that. PJ Washington's, I think, intriguing against with no Gordon Hayward. He dropped 39 against them last game. 6'1". There's definitely upside there. Not a comfortable click. But I think he's intriguing. Other than that, I think Devontae Graham might be like a tier 2 guy.
Yeah, not a whole lot of sample size of all three without Hayward and LaMelo. In the sample size, we do have Rozier sustains a 30% usage rate in both the Devontae, Rozier, and PJ on the court. And then when I took PJ off to get a little bit more minutes, Rozier still at 30%. Devontae Graham, though, the leader in assist percentage. So that kind of leads me to look at what we might be looking at in terms of prop bets for Devontae Graham's assist props. So I'm going to look over at our PrizePicks.com board and see if they have a number for Devontae Graham and if it's worth putting a little bit of action on it from where we're sitting now. So I'm going to go to PrizePicks.com NBA, go to single stats chat. If you guys want to play along, you're not on PrizePicks, PrizePicks.com. Sign up using code GUNDACKER. They're going to double your initial deposit up to $100. And if you tweet me or send me a DM after you sign up, you could be eligible to get a free week pass of RunDFS.com VIP. So he has an assist right now of 5. That's his prop. 5 is the number for Devontae Graham. I like that because I like it. I could push at 5, right? 5 we 5 all we push, and then it's just a empty number. 6 assists, 6 assists, 6 assists in 3 of his last 4 games. The last couple games have been kind of lopsided, so I'm all about some Devontae Graham. I'd take the over on 5 right now. That line might move up to 5.5 pretty soon. And the numbers suggest that his assist rate should be at almost 30% in this scenario. No Hayward, no LaMelo Ball. I got him at 32 minutes. Yeah, so give me the over on Devontae Graham, 5 assists, and if it pushed at 5, oh well, my parlay ticket's still alive. So maybe go use that chat, PrizePicks.com, sign up using code GUNDACKER, and get $100 up to $100, double your initial deposit. So if you sign up and you drop $10 on it, they'll give you 20. Then essentially that $10 could be worth the week pass anyway, since the week pass right now is at 25. DM me on Twitter, be like, yo Gun, I signed up, here's my name. The next morning when they send me the list of people that signed up using code GUNDACKER, I'll be like, oh boom, there's his name. I go to RunDFS.com, I add the week to you, and you're vibing. So yeah, let's check that out. So I'm with you on Devontae Graham, the homie. And then Terry Rozier, I think at 8-4 on DraftKings. Like, nobody wants to pay that price for Terry Rozier, right? We talked about the Lonzo price point. But Rozier has 40-50 fantasy point range of outcomes here. So it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, like weighing them together. I mean, if Rozier gets you 50 and Graham gets you 40, I mean, you'll gladly play both of them together. I just think their usage is going to be, both of them might touch close to 30% usage here. So playing them together, I think, is definitely an option. Play those two. Bring them back with some Pokusevski, and I'd move on from that.
Bro, have you seen Pokusevski?
Oh, yeah, the guy looks like he belongs in the MIT math team.
Bro, chat, have you guys seen Pokusevski? I posted this picture in the Discord yesterday. Let me see if I can go find it. I'll put it on the screen. By the way, the Discord, part of your RunDFS.com premium perks, if you sign up using, or if you just sign up, you guys can get into the Discord and get into the spreadsheet. Scroll up past all of this nonsense. Here we go. Pokusevski. This is Alexis Pokusevski. 19-4-2 against the Pistons, man. Imagine pulling up and getting murdered by this guy on the court, man. That's you ever see those videos where like ballers will dress up like nerds, like the professor will dress up like a nerd to go to like a street ball court, and then and then he just like starts putting to work on these boys. Like, that's what Pokusevski is, man. He's out here sharking fools. Chat, what do you guys got on this one? Julian says, is PJ worth the gamble at 5,200 on FanDuel? I would probably have a little bit Considering that there's no Gordon Hayward, like I feel like I could stretch him out a little bit for a little extra usage. Hayward does represent a lot. Like Hayward's representing enough peripherals and enough real points that you want to spread it out a little bit. If you look at Hayward's average, he's averaging almost 20 points a game, 6 boards, 4 assists. So you divvy up those 20 points. Maybe PJ Washington gives you a shot at 30 fantasy points a decent chunk of the time. So definitely worth the gamble. I also have a little bit of Miles Bridges, and then off the bench, there's no Malik Monk, so maybe. I didn't even know. I was trying to come up with a name off the bench. I really don't have anyone that like Brad Wanamaker, 3,200 on DraftKings. Like none of these names really just like give me the warm fuzzy. So I'm kind of stick with the starters here. Let's see what you guys got here. Cody says Raj talking major trash today. I don't know what you said.
I don't even know what I said either. Got the chair front that seat today. You actually hear me play sports. Whew. I was a legend, even while sitting on the bench. I was that guy.
Anyway, let's move on to the next game here. Denver Nuggets hosting the San Antonio Spurs. Project starting 5 for the Spurs. Dejounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? We just got a tweet from Fantasy Lab saying Dejounte Murray is expected to be available for this one. So that's good news. They'll be up against Jamal Murray, who did not play last night. Going to be questionable today. Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic. Nuggets at home. 7-point spread. 2-2-2, and another one. 2's our total. So I kind of had a feeling yesterday that we would expect Murray, and I even said it on the stream. It's like if I'm the coach and Murray's not 100%, we're going against a winnable game. I give him the night off here, and I maybe see if he can gut it out tomorrow. So that's kind of the thought process I have here. Nonetheless, he's still questionable. Not like I'm going to play A.K. Murray today. I don't feel like I need to. But definitely in his absence, we saw, Jokic can go back to being Jokic. And on a night where we're debating Karl-Anthony Towns and Clint Capella in the 10K range, Nikola Jokic, he's like, hey, I'm still here. So I definitely wouldn't mind a little bit of Jokic if I saw like Murray was out. Otherwise, the game is not something that I'm gravitating heavily towards. Michael Porter Jr. is probably worth thinking about, not necessarily because I think the price is a smash spot for him, but because the position is so shallow on FanDuel at small forward that we might be overpaying for a 38 fantasy point performance, and it might get us to the dance. 7,200 for Michael Porter today. He's right there in a sea of uncomfortable clicks. Last couple games for him, 32, 36, 30, 51, 31. So you really long-term, you're not interested in paying 7K for 30, but because of how shallow the position is, unless you really lean on the low-end guys, I think Kyle Anderson might gravitate towards the top anyway. At least for me, unless you're really leaning on the low end guys, maybe you might just have to win the position today with some raw points. And if 38, 37 can win the position here, I don't hate it. I don't necessarily run to DVP to answer questions, but San Antonio definitely below league average in terms of fantasy points allowed to opposing power forwards. So. Strong thoughts there, but none like in this game, nothing is screaming at me that I have to play. Even Jakob Poeltl 7-1 on FanDuel. The FanDuel did a great job at pricing up centers today, making none of these guys fun to play. Anyone dipping at you? I haven't seen anything about like back-to-back rest here for the Spurs, but maybe look out for that. But otherwise, like this isn't a game that I think ends up being a priority for me. What are you thinking?
I mean, if no Jamal Murray, Jokic at that center, 10-6. I like it against San Antonio.
No.
Don't hate it. Will Barton.
You jinxed the perfect game. It's over. It's all your fault.
I'll take it. Will Barton, with no Jamal Murray, often gets a little bit of a usage bump, does a lot more playmaking. Coming out from 40 bomb against Detroit, against San Antonio, 5-4. I like that. I like Will Barton and Jokic. On the San Antonio side, I mean, Dejounte Murray's playing. He was ruled in. I mean, if you want to take shots on DeRozan or Murray, I get it, and Poeltl, but they wouldn't be tier 1 place for me. But I do like Will Barton and Jokic.
I'm just snitching on you to the MLB chat. The words. I said at the end of the 5th inning, Raj mentioned the words "perfect game."
Haters go hate.
Ian Happ with the single to right does Woodruff in. But Woodruff still on pace to being the best play by a mile, and that's it. So Yeah. Quants is just Joker for me. Trevor Bauer pitching to contact. Oh, no. Oh, no. You're telling me the man who parlayed the AL Central into a Cy Young. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm a hater. Yeah, I got no strong takes on this one. Let's move on to the next game. The last game for today. Take a pause for the cause. Remind you guys that I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord throughout the 2 hours prior to lock, making my player pool. If you guys want to compare your player pool to mine, if you guys want to tail mine, or even just go against mine, I will be carving this out for both FanDuel and DraftKings, my tier 1s, 2s, and 3s. These aren't necessarily plays that I think are the best plays. These are plays that I'm going to have the most exposure to. So what I mean by that is, like, yeah, Russell Westbrook, and this is just an example. It could be anybody. If X is a great play, and I think he's projected for the most raw points, doesn't mean like he's going to be my highest owned player. The tiers are my personal exposure levels. So that's very important to know going into that. I have the same for baseball as well. If you guys want access to that as part of having a premium subscription at RunDFS.com, go to RunDFS.com, make yourself an account, sign up, VIP passes. There's week passes, 2 week passes, month passes, all that good stuff. We do have that PrizePicks promo going on if you guys want to try and hustle a free week and be able to diversify your daily DFS spend as is. Go there, and then when you do sign up, you'll get a link to the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, and we'll be right here in the NBA chat 2 hours before lock. Grab a mic, jump in, make some friends, or just listen in, and then go on from there. I'm trying to see if you're not getting cursed out yet. Can you guys please shoot me one MLB play, please? I didn't realize all the game started early. Like, dang, I thought the game started 7. Oh, he's talking about for gambling purposes. Yankees, even though Aaron Judge ain't in the lineup, bro. We'll take Yankees money line all day, every day against the Baltimore Orioles. Jamison Taillon, I'm interested to see how he looks. Utah Jazz at the Phoenix Suns. Main event tonight, project starting 5 for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert taking on Chris Paul, Devin Booker, McCall Bridges, Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton. This is the main event game. This is your late night hammer, and it's two teams that I just like blow it up. Send them to the moon for fantasy. Should be one of the slowest pace, top defensive grindy games. I don't have a lot of front end interest, but I will say, how many times do we see two defensive teams just like two negatives equal a positive?
Yeah, and like two elite good teams. Like just when two good teams go at it, I get their good defense, but I just feel like better offense beats good defense in today's NBA. I love this game stack.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's insane. Like I think that like Gobert 8K on both sides. Like if you squeeze out the necessity for 35 minutes, like a slugfest here. Yeah, there's some prices I can get behind. Donovan Mitchell 8-2 on FanDuel. I can get behind that versus Devin Booker. You know, even Mike Conley is in the mix for 30 plus.
I like it.
So on the Suns side, maybe Chris Paul. Maybe the Suns are priced a little bit over their head from median ranges of outcomes.
Chris Paul at 7-6 in 35 minutes in a competitive game. I might tier 1 that.
I'm not that crazy, but maybe. I only have him at 31 minutes right now, but like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, neither one of these teams really tend to play in matchups where the other team kind of matches up really well. Like, top to bottom, this is a unique.
I'm gonna give them about 35 minutes. I'm gonna give all the starters 35 minutes for Phoenix. I think the 4-quarter game to the last minute, so I don't know if that helps your projections.
It does not. 29 minutes for Chris Paul last time against Utah, 27 DKP. So I don't think I'm getting to Chris Paul, but like I can get to some Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert just as like errant late night hammer exposure. 9K Devin Booker. I need that 50. I don't think I'm pushing
I like it. I like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Bridges, and a Utah side. Give me Mitchell, Conley, Gobert. I like it. It's just, again, two good teams.
Yeah, we're going to be a little different, I think, in that approach. I think I'm going to be a little... I definitely will have, like, some errant shots here of the Utah Jazz. I probably don't game stack it, but, like, again, like, how many times have we seen throughout the years, like, in years past, when, like, the Raptors face the Heat or the Celtics and, like, the Sixers, like, those teams that just seem like good defenses going at it, they end up going down to the wire, and then you get some surprising plays, and sometimes you sneak into some extra innings. 1.5 point spread here. I'm just gonna like play with the other games here, and then maybe one-offs here and there, just as a hammer opportunity. But yeah, no front end interest for me. But I understand, like, this isn't the craziest thing you've said. But is 9K Devin Booker really going to be somebody that you can have a high, like, he's.
I don't think I need to own that much to be 3 times the field or 4 times the field.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, so I like this game, especially in tournaments. If people just, I guess, won't want to play the 10 p.m. game too. It's the lone 10 p.m. game, so might go even overlooked because of that. So I like this game in tournaments.
All right, that's fair. Chat, you guys got anything else for us? Twitter.com/Gundacker is my Twitter if you guys got DMs for me. If you guys got anything else for us now, though, drop it in chat. Try and wing anything. Maybe get off the air here within 5 minutes. At 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, I'll be in the Discord hanging out. I'll probably try and find me some grub. I'm hungry. Might make me an egg sandwich or something. Watch a little baseball. Cover my play pro. I will say, with just one, like, it sounds crazy that this big of an NBA slate with as much news we're dealing with, it's going to be like a light day for me because I've been juggling so much with baseball and NBA. So we get to hang out a little bit and be a little bit less stressed here trying to beat 2 deadlines. So I'm excited for that. But if you guys want to hang out with me, rundfs.com, VIP pass. Once you sign up, you'll click VIP threads. You'll see an onboarding thread. That'll have links to the baseball spreadsheet, basketball spreadsheet, and Discord. And chat, would anybody be interested in me doing an MLB stream tonight? So tomorrow is another like all day stuff, and I was soft scheduled. I still am for Osmo, but like I don't know that that's gonna, like, I was initially scheduled for 4. Like, I don't think that's possible. So tomorrow's main slate is at noon my time. So like, obviously I can't get up and do a noon stream because the slate's already locked. So like, if I was gonna put out some content with any type of shelf life, it would probably have to be tonight. And since there's only 2 night games tonight, like, it's not insane for me to maybe do a breakdown tonight. But that's only if you guys want it. If you guys don't want it, we can chill out. We have the spreadsheet for VIP. But tomorrow looks like a freaking Sunday slate. Like, it's all at noon, and there's like a night game. So
Osmo's gonna have you waking up like a regular person.
I don't know what the plan is. Like, I was initially scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern, but clearly with that schedule, it's not going to be the case. So we'll see. And if that stream gets canceled, it's whatever. So. And then Friday is kind of the same. Another kind of, these baseball slate times are just horrendous. Looks like
They
another.
don't care about TV ratings.
I mean, they're still dominating like regional ratings, so it's whatever. Maybe we'll do one tonight. Maybe we'll MLB stream 2 games. Say, okay, buddy. You played Boban. I did play Boban.
I told you. He was not a play. I remember.
He was definitely a play that day. You're out of your mind. Oh, like, he was on DraftKings. It was that cheap. There's no way you didn't have Boban. No, okay.
Not that night he got 0. No, I had no Boban.
Do you know why he got 0?
No, I don't even know why he get 0. Who was another center?
Because he played 0 minutes. Like, you honestly 100% when you saw Porzingis out.
Boban.
Okay, well,
no, because there was another like chalk center. There was never a chalk center out. Was it Poto? Was it Poto night?
I don't know. That was only on DraftKings though. I didn't have him on FanDuel. It is what it is. Whatever.
God, maybe lose the touch, guys.
He's not. It's not happening. It's not happening. I will.
Better see a big win today.
Oh, we're gonna do the head-to-head series if you don't shut your pie hole.
Hey, let's go. Won the first bet in baseball. I'm down to take your.
Oh, you dang sure ain't touching me in baseball, young blood. I will.
Nah, babe, I'm just saying. Hey, we can go 1v1 protect. Wait, but you're a multi-entry guy though.
I am, but I'll smash you in single entry too, young blood.
Entry 10 days in a row. I don't know.
You talking, man? Woo!
Multi-entry, I can't hang with a gun at MLB, but single entry life?
You want some of this single entry life, bro? I will set it up. Set up the series.
Come to the VIP chat.
You think you think you could beat me in a what? I think
your edge is a lot smaller.
Let's go
in a 10-day 1v1.
A 10-day head-to-head series for baseball.
Yeah. I think your edge is a lot smaller.
Put something on that, for the love of. Put something on that.
We're going to tie. We go. I'm figure this out. We're going to tie. We're going to figure something.
Chat. I will literally Yeah, no, we can put something on that. Make it interesting. Because I'll beat you in 6 days, bro. Like, what? I will sweep you every day. You don't understand. This guy. This guy, chat. This guy.
Sing lecture, we gonna see.
Alright. That's going to do it for us. If you guys got anything else for me, twitter.com/GundackerSports. That's how you guys can reach out to me. DMs are open. I appreciate you guys making part of my day be part of your day. If you guys are playing the Masters this weekend, good luck. If you guys are playing NBA tonight, win all the money, save some for me. We've got some more baseball tomorrow. A lot of baseball games going on right now. I had fun. Hopefully you guys have fun. And stay tuned to my Twitter. I'll probably have some other streams on this channel or not on this channel in the coming days or so. I'll keep you guys updated. Definitely going to demolish rods. Don't ever come at me when it comes to baseball, man. I'll be in that Discord pretty soon, man. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.